Oh, what's up guys? I got some bad news, bros. The groundhog I've been sharing my burrow with has rabies, so I'm going to be alive for another 15 minutes approximately. In that time, let's go over some hidden gems, some really good cards, and some bangers from Bloomburrow. Now these are going to be some of my personal favorites. I'm going to give you some use case scenarios. I'm going to read the cards. We're going to talk about them, And as always, if you like these types of videos, subscribe to the channel, brother. I got a Discord too. There are a number of groups in there. There are a number of bros in there. They're getting games over Tabletop Simulator. They're getting games on other apps. They're doing all kinds of stuff in there. They might be launching a plan to take over the capital. I don't know. And if you want to support the channel directly, join the Patreon, brother. DM me there. I'll do deck techs for you. I'll do deck doctors. I'm going to do OnlyFans scenarios in there. Just kidding about the OnlyFans scenarios. Settle down. Now, these class cards have been around for a while, but I think they warrant a second look in this set because there are some really good ones. The offerings I've seen prior to this have been a little niche, but this looks pretty decent. The Caretaker's Talent, 2 and a white for an enchantment class. Whenever one or more tokens you control enter, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. You want to get to level 2, you got to pay a white mana. When this class becomes level 2, create a token that's a copy of target token you control. Pretty nice. Level 3 is 3 and a white. Creature tokens you control get +2/+2. Token strategies love card draw. 3 mana isn't bad for this at all. The rest of the card is kind of gravy. It's pretty decent as well. It's a really neat, versatile card. And look at this fella. Looks like he's sitting behind the desk at one of the card shops I go to. The Dour Port-Mage. 1 in a blue for a creature frog wizard. Coincidentally, the guy behind the desk is a frog wizard as well. It's a 1/3. Whenever one or more other creatures you control leave the battlefield without dying, draw a card. Has 1 in a blue tap, return another target creature you control to its owner's hand. No once per turn caveat on this card, man. If you stick this in a blink deck, Brago, something like that, you're drawn up to a full grip with this little toad. Now this is the card I'm probably most excited about, dude. Skeleton Snakes. Can't beat that. Coiling Rebirth. 3 black for a sorcery. Gift a card. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Then if the gift was promised and that creature isn't legendary, create a token that's a copy of that creature, except it's a 1/1. This card's pretty insane in a reanimator deck. It's a little niche because you have to be in a deck where you have powerful ETB effects or static effects, but what the heck else are you doing in a reanimator deck? As a fan of the yard, man, this card rips. And then we have the Innkeeper's Talent, 1 in a green enchantment class. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Not bad, dude. Has green, level 2. Permanents you control with counters on them have ward 1. Alright. Level 3 is 3 in a green. If you would put 1 or more counters on a permanent or player, put twice that many of each of those kind of counters on that permanent or player instead. Love this card in counters decks. That ward 1 gives a very minor sheen of protection. It's going to take 7 mana to get there, but that last ability is a barn burner. Straight out of Portland, we got the Fireglass Mentor, black and a red, creature, lizard, warlock. It's a 2/1. At the beginning of your second main phase, if an opponent lost life this turn, which they will, exile the top 2 cards of your library. Choose one of them. Until end of turn, you may play that card, man. I like this in a ton of decks. Rakdos is really good at Group Slug, and this little fella is pretty dope in these decks that want to play cards from exile. Now, as you guys know, I'm a huge fan of tribal decks, typal decks, kindred decks. Next year I'm going to have to call them Dink Doink decks or whatever the heck it is. And this is a new budget staple for sure, man. The Patchwork Banner. 3 generic mana artifact. As it enters, choose a creature type. Creatures you control the chosen type get +1/+1. Has tap, add 1 mana of any color. I love that this is a little mana artifact as well, man. This card truly rips. Oh, check this card out and the beautiful art on this thing, man. The Dawn's Truce, 1 and a white for an instant, gift a card. You and permanents you control gain hexproof until end of turn. If the gift was promised, permanents you control also gain indestructible until end of turn. I'm a huge fan of this card. If you see it for a few bucks, I'd pick up a copy for your white decks. Comparable to Heroic Intervention, though has that added gift as a card cost. This is a good card, man. It's just an owl unfurling the wings of darkness over the egg of time, brother. And here we have the Valley Floodcaller. 2 in a blue for a creature, Otter Wizard. It's a 2/2 with flash. You may cast non-creature spells as though they had flash, dude. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, birds, frogs, otters, and rats you control get +1/+1 until end of turn, untap them. I think the woodland creature stuff on this card is window dressing. The real power of this card is the ability to cast non-creature spells as though they had flash, dude. That's artifacts, instant sorceries, enchantments, battles, planeswalkers, all that stuff. Very powerful, even if the art is a bunch of pets riding a tsunami. Is this little animal Heist in the egg of time, brother? Black for a sorcery, Cruelclaw's Heist. Gift a card. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it, exile that card. If the gift was promised, you may cast that card for as long as it remains exiled, and mana of any type can be spent to cast it. Love cards like this, man. In recent years, we've had this emerging archetype of playing your opponent's stuff, and this can be pretty bonkers to remove the best card in their hand, man. Give it to you for the low cost of 2 mana. I love it. Now this is an interesting one. Wear Down. 1 and a green for a sorcery, gift a card. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. If the gift was promised, instead destroy 2 artifacts and or enchantments. Mana wise, this is probably the most efficient removal for artifacts and enchantments out there. Too bad it's at sorcery speed and you gotta give your opponent a gift. But you know what? We're commander players. We all love these little political cards, man. And this guy is the Lilysplash Mentor, 2 green and a blue, creature Frog Druid. It's a 4/4 with reach. Has 1 green and a blue. Exile another target creature you control, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with a +1/+1 counter on it. Activate only as a sorcery. Listen, man, here you go. Remember Deadeye Navigator? Well, this is not as good as that, but it is cheaper and will do in a pinch as a redundant effect. This does in fact go infinite with Peregrine Drake, Great Well, Palancron, stuff like that. But that sorcery speed requirement holds it back, man. Somebody can remove it at instant speed, you only get 1 activation. Anyways, neat poor man's Deadeye Navigator. Like this card. And did you think I forgot about the Commander product? Of course I haven't, dude. You know, I'm going to cover most of those cards in their own little deck text, deck upgrade guide, stuff like that for the pre-cons. But I do want to explore some of the hidden gems in there. Look at this guy, man. If I saw this guy in my backyard, I'd probably back down, dude. The Jacked Rabbit, X 1 and white, creature Rabbit Warrior. It's a 1/2, has Ravenous. So basically, if X is 5 or more, draw a card when it enters. When it attacks, create a number of 1/1 white rabbit creature tokens equal to Jack Rabbit's power, dude. I love this for token decks. Very efficient, and that Ravenous makes this a fantastic include for those types of decks. And look at this guy, the Prosperous Bandit, 2 and a red for a Raccoon Rogue. It's a 2/2, has Offspring for 1, so you pay an additional 1, you can create a little baby. You know, it's a 1/1 token, dude. Don't let the lizard people get their hands on that baby. This thing has first strike. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, create that many tapped treasure tokens. You may look at this little idiot with his acorn hat and think maybe he's a little small, right? Maybe he's a little foolish, but in the right decks, brother, it's going to be a powerful card. Too bad the tokens come in tapped. Love this card, man. The Evercoat Ursine, 4 and a green for a creature, Elemental Bear. It's a 6/5. This guy has Trample and Hideaway 3, Hideaway 3. Whenever Evercoat Ursine deals combat damage to a player, if there are cards exiled with it, you may play one of them without paying its mana cost. Look at this leafy boy, man. He's taking a nap. Until he isn't, dude. Then he's slapping it for big damage and a free spell. I love this thing for 5 mana, dude. Listen, man, lots of great reprints in this set, covering those in separate videos in the coming weeks. There are also a bunch of sweet build-around commanders that I'm going to be building around. More to come, brother. Stay cool out there. Don't get into shenanigans, alright, no matter what you do. I just wanted to hit you up with some sweet cards here from the main set, and maybe some that you haven't seen. Nicky G, Better Commander, signing off.